Prince William and Kate Middleton could welcome York's sister as new neighbor. Prince William and Kate Middleton could welcome Princess Eugenie or Princess Beatrice as their neighbor in Kensington Palace, Marlene Koenig, a royal historian, told Express.co.uk. The Duke of Cambridge this week admitted to often hiding the stresses and strains of the day during his time working for the East Anglia Air Ambulance. He said that he often avoided putting a burden on his wife, Kate, Duchess of Cambridge, and their young family. Specifically, he noted how the constant stream of calls from those in need during the most stressful conditions made for an exceedingly difficult job. Speaking to first responders, he said, "I remember the pressure of attending calls in the most stressful conditions, sometimes with tragic conclusions. I remember the sense of solidarity with my team, pulling together to do the best we could and sharing the weight of responsibility. I also remember returning home with the stresses and strains of the day weighing on my mind, and wanting to avoid burdening my family with what I had seen. When I spoke to paramedics Will and Chloe earlier this month, it reminded me of the complexities of talking to family and friends about the job." He left behind his air ambulance work in 2017 to focus on carrying out royal duties alongside Kate full-time, a move towards their eventual roles as king and queen consort. The couple have had a busy few weeks with the Royal Variety performance and a string of Remembrance Day events, paired with the other work they have carried out, like the first Earthshot Prize Awards last month. They currently reside at Kensington Palace in Apartment 1A, likely to be one of the only spaces where they can enjoy quiet time. This is because their neighbors in Apartment 1, Prince Richard, the Duke of Gloucester, and his wife Bridget, moved out in 2019 to downsize, according to reports. The apartment has since been empty, with many members of the firm being touted as potential neighbors of the Cambridges. Now, a new potential match has been made. Marlene Koenig, a royal historian and expert, suggested that either Princess Beatrice or Eugenie could be lined up as Apartment 1's newest tenants. Talking about the various royal residences and homes that royal family members own, and the difficulties around who might inhabit them in the future, she told Express.co.uk last month, "Princess Anne's home is her own and it will go to her kids, it's not a royal home. There's an area next to it that Mark Phillips helped buy before the divorce, and that's where Zara and Peter live and have their homes, it's all going to be theirs at some point. But other homes and royal residences, right now, it's more about maintaining what they have. I used the example of Kensington Palace, there are apartments in there, Apartment 1 is now empty, what are they going to do with that? What are historic royal palaces going to do with that? Personally, I would have no problem with Beatrice or Eugenie and their families living in one of those apartments, even if they're not working royals. They would be paying the upkeep and security and that sort of thing. You just can't rent those apartments out to people. There's many places they do rent out on the market, but would they rent out Apartment 1 to somebody who is not a member of the royal family? Because it's literally right next to where the Cambridges live. Eugenie currently lives at Frogmore Cottage with her husband Jack Brooksbank and son August. Beatrice, meanwhile, resides in St. James Palace with her husband, Edoardo Mapley-Mozzi, and their baby Sienna, who was born on September 18. She did, however, go on to explore how the royal household may turn them into exhibitions. She said, "They may use the palace for something else, that's a possibility. But it's a case of it happens when it happens. Currently, we just don't know who's going to live where, it's like drawing straws." William and Kate's Apartment 1A may deceive those who are not familiar with it. It is not an apartment but rather a 4-story mansion, with an elevator, a gym and 9 staff rooms, with a total 20 rooms from the basement to the attic. Reports suggest it even has its own walled garden, 5 reception rooms, 9 staff bedrooms, multiple drawing rooms, and a luggage room. Christopher Warwick, a royal expert, previously explained to Marie Claire why the mansion was called an apartment. All of these royal residences at Kensington Palace are called apartments, which of course makes people immediately think they are flats like the American term for an apartment. They are not. If you think of Kensington Place, in a way, it is built around 3 courtyards. If you kind of think of them as being these wonderful red brick terrace houses. Because they are all joined but separate houses. Apartment 1 is no less grand, another mansion with 21 bedrooms. They are not. If you think of Kensington Place, in a way, it is built around 3 courtyards. If you kind of think of them as being these wonderful red brick terrace houses. Because they are all joined but separate houses. Apartment 1 is no less grand, another mansion with 21 bedrooms.